Welcome, guys, to the Flopbuster movie show with Tony and Gabe. Today we have a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. Gabe, what's up, man? How are you doing today?
Good, man. How you doing yourself?
I'm
How you
doing
doing today?
I'm doing great. Feel good. Saw Apes last night. I know you saw it the day before me,
I
so
did.
I'm excited to talk about that. We'll get to it. We been hyping up this horror movie that for at least a week now that we got an exclusive look at. That was just incredible. So I know we're going to talk about that.
Fucking incredible.
Those NBA playoffs. I feel like this year's been very interesting. We talked about it last week too. I don't know why we're talking about the playoffs on here, but we can talk about whatever the fuck we want. We talked about it last week.
It's our show. We could do whatever the fuck we want, right?
The playoffs have been very fun to watch. The Knicks, those guys are getting hurt, they're bleeding, they're bruising, but they're still in there. They're still winning somehow.
Fuck the Knicks, though.
But they're fun. It's like Thibodeau. Tibbs is just.
I know. You know what? I guess we're gonna just. They remind me of those Rose Thibodeau Bulls teams where it's just nothing but heart, nothing but grit. They may not be the most athletic, might be the best basketball players, but they're giving it their all, and it's just like great to see.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's like, oh, Bronson's hurt. It's just like, nope, he's out for a quarter, comes back, drops 29. It's like, all right, well, these guys they won't go down for the count. They got multiple players injured, and they keep winning. So they're an interesting team to watch. I think tonight we have the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. So game 3, it'll be interesting to see if the Nuggets bounce back. Or
old Timberwolves.
You calling it? Are you think it's over?
It's over.
You know what? I haven't seen defense like that so suffocating in a very long time. Like it looked like what I've never seen that team broken. I've never seen Joker just unsure who to pass to. You have Jamal Murray just bricking and like doing hero ball, just brick. He was like 3 for 18, I think.
You could build a house with those bricks.
Dude, I haven't seen this team in shambles like that before. But they've never been challenged in this way. So
no, that's what always makes the West has always been the stronger conference. Once Jordan left, it's nothing but the West. The West has always been the hardest conference, to win. Even during the LeBron years when he was with the Heat and stuff. Yeah, okay, the East was a little bit tougher, but then the West, you had those Harden Rockets, right? You had fucking Golden State with Curry. Like the West has always had dominant teams. I mean, you can't forget about the Spurs with Popovich and Kawhi.
Yep, we still had Kobe. Kobe was still.
You still had Kobe and the Lakers. I mean, so it's like the West has always been the hardest conference. And surprisingly, Joker and the Nuggets ran through the West last year. And I think that now you have teams in the West that it's just hard to beat. Like they're hard. You could put 1 through 8, like all 8 playoff teams, and all. He said giving the Lakers these props as you were winning the Lakers at, but 1 through 8 could have run the gauntlet through the West, and they could be any team in the East. Like whoever comes out of the West, it's gonna win the championship. Like that's for sure.
No, I agree. I think OKC looks great. I feel like they've been stealth. The Mavs have shockingly gone this far too. So it's anybody's game at this point. I think the only one that I'm still unsure of, we talked about last week, is the Celtics. Everybody's pinning the Celtics to take it all. I still don't think the Celtics got it in them.
It's a weak East, and so you have the Celtics, which I absolutely hate the Celtics. But it's a weak East, so yes, if they make it, but it's who do the Celtics have to begin with? Besides Jason Tatum.
I know they're saying Tatum has got it this year. I think Tatum's a great basketball player. I don't want it to come off like I despise this guy or something. He's great. He's talented, obviously. He's a superstar. Yes. But he lacks that I'm going to fucking kill you. It's the playoffs to get my team to the next level. Whereas you look at a guy in his 4th year like Edwards, everybody keeps calling him MJ's son. But in these playoffs, we haven't seen this guy go down at all. He is just dominating. He's making teams look weak. He made the Suns look weak. He's making the Nuggets look weak. And that's crazy to watch. It's crazy to watch old school basketball in that way, to watch somebody come in, shoot lights out from mid-range, post up, dunk in your face, and tell you you're going to lose. and doing the dick sucking thing and all. Like, it's just I haven't seen somebody so confident and cocky that they are going to demolish you. So they've been fun to watch. I don't know. I you know what? I know you mentioned it last week. I think I'm with you though. I think Knicks Timberwolves would be an amazing game. That would be I think they would go all 7.
It would be. I hate to see New York win though, because Minnesota has been the darling of the dance, right? Minnesota has never. I mean, I don't even think they've ever made a Western Conference Finals, even with Garnett. But it would be nice to see the Wolves win, but I wouldn't be mad if New York won either.
No, I wouldn't. I feel like both those teams are like the Knicks have been. Those crybabies have been waiting forever. Those fans,
dude, those fans would be insufferable though. Like if they won it, the Knicks fans would be insufferable.
They would. They honestly, but like I like that team. I like those players, and it's like you said, they're playing with pure heart. At this point, they're just not going down. You got Tibbs screaming on the sidelines. These guys are playing with their everything on the line.
Tibbs should sign fucking Rose for like a 10-day contract for the rest of these playoffs. Just.
You think so? I think he's done, right? That's it. Rose retired.
No, he didn't retire. He's still playing with the Grizzlies.
Right, but I'm pretty sure this was his last year.
No, I don't know. Give him a 10-day contract for the playoffs, just so that if the Knicks win it all, fucking Rose gets a ring.
That's true. Yeah, that would be awesome. I feel like he's played for the Timberwolves. He played for the Knicks. He played for Cleveland. Remember for like.
Yes.
10 games or something like that. Like he was after the Bulls, he went all over. Okay.
All right.
Let's talk about Meet the Grams. Gabe, break down Meet the Grams for us.
Ooh, Meet the Grams, I would say it's just a straight up murder. So we got the exclusive last week thanks to our connection that we ended up having.
Yeah.
I don't like to name names. I'm not a name dropper.
We'll call him Julio.
Right. So he gave us the exclusive on this Meet the Grams, and it blew up on your Facebook, right? You posted it about it, and everybody was like, "How'd you see this? I don't see this on IMDb. I don't see this on Letterboxd. Like, where'd you find this?"
It's not going to come up on IMDb.
It's not. It's very, I want to say, a very independent type.
Yeah, it's exclusive.
It's very exclusive. It's like, I don't know. But what it is basically a murder. It's basically one of the most grisliest murders I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, and it's awful.
It is. You run it down a little bit better than I can.
No, you had it. I might have thrown off your flow a little bit, but I think if you had to compare this movie to anything, it would be, man, it is like, I'm thinking of like really disturbing movies.
Like, what was that? What's that train movie that everybody says is the most horrific movie of all time?
Train to Busan?
No, not Train to Busan. The one with like the pedophilia and all that other weird shit.
Pedophilia? What movie is this?
It's a train.
On a train?
Yes. Fuck. I forgot the name of it. But anyways, it's like it's worse than that movie.
This is like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer disturbing.
Right.
That's how. Yeah. It's.
You keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, look at that movie. This is, and it's also, this is a movie for the Black community too. So like, it's got a little bit of that. It's got that new age flair. Think like really hard R, disgusting, like Jordan Peele produced material. And the cast is great. The lead especially. He was a terrific performance. The villain, Audrey Graham, I mean, super memorable. Okay. What are you looking at this movie?
I am looking. I'm looking at
what movie takes. Is it Midnight Meat Train?
No, it's not Midnight Meat Train.
The Midnight Meat Train. Snowpiercer. I'm thinking of like all movies that take place on a train.
I know. I probably won't. I can't even. Never mind me. Never mind me.
Guys, this isn't a real. It's not a real movie. The Meet the Grams. It's the diss track from Kendrick Lamar to Drake, and we felt like, what's a great way to talk about this beef? Let's just do it on the show. You know, it's pop culture. We talk about pop culture.
Right.
This is a crazy moment in the pop culture zeitgeist. This is huge, right? Like, we haven't seen a beef like this in a while. On this scale, where it's kind of just run the nation. My parents know about this. You know, my sister knows about it. My coworkers know. Everybody on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. If you follow hip hop or music in general, you know what's happening. And Drake and Kendrick, they don't like each other. And it's this huge thing. It's started, I feel like a month or two ago, right? It started off with Drake and J. Cole talking about who the top 3 is. And then Kendrick going, "No, it's not top 3. It's just me.
Just me. It's just big me." By the way, the movie I was thinking about was a Serbian film.
Oh, a Serbian film. When you said pedophilia, I'm like, oh, a Serbian film. But I forgot.
Yeah. Anyways, listen, I will say this as much as I think J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick are all intents and purposes the big 3 in hip hop right now.
Right.
I've always gravitated more towards Kendrick. Again, maybe it's my West Coast bias. I know you say, like, on our chats, like, oh, Gabe fucking hates the West Coast, but I don't. I fucking love West Coast music. I love West Coast culture, especially in hip hop. I'm a big, West Coast guy in that sense. So Kendrick's, I always gravitated towards Kendrick. Being from Compton, one of my favorite rappers is Eazy-E. He's from Compton. So, like, Compton has always been big in hip hop culture. So I've always gravitated, like, again, towards Kendrick. And when he's just started dropping these songs, it's just like, God damn, I'm glad he's back. Because I think the last time we got anything from him was maybe the Black Panther soundtrack.
I'm trying to think. Well, when was N95? When was N95?
Oh, I don't know.
Is that 2017?
N95?
Yeah.
Oh, the movie?
No, the song, the Kendrick song. Let me see. No, he gave, that was 2022.
Okay.
That was yeah. So the last, I think Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Okay, so that was like 2 years ago. He hasn't put out anything in like 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's a long time. What, when Drake drops an album almost every year, he's dropping,
Drake's got something.
Singles.
He's
dropping
kind of
features. Every year we've had a whole bunch of Drake collabs and stuff. Same thing with J. Cole. Like every year he's dropping features and albums and stuff like that. 2 years to be gone from the rap game, it's a long time, especially the way music evolves. So this beef brought back Kendrick to the masses. And I mean, and Kendrick has alluded that, right? His last song that he did, it was like, your song was great. He's like, too bad your stuff, was full of lies, but I'm just glad that we brought you back to the game. So, like,
right.
Even Drake is a fan of Kendrick. Like, as much as the beef is,
I think the beef is over. I think there's no more diss tracks. I mean, we had Kendrick drop like 4 tracks in like 72 hours. It was kind of a murder. It's like, Jesus Christ, this guy won't stop. It's like he's already done. He's dead. And then Drake obviously releases his. He does Family Matters. He does the most what's the one that he just did where he was pretty much defending himself. What was the title of that track again?
I don't know. I didn't even care about it. He defended himself, but
it was the Heart Part 6, right?
Oh, yes. Sure. Here's the thing, right? If you got to defend yourself and you're talking about, all you said was lies, and then you talk about the allegations of him with minors, and he really didn't do himself
Okay, let me
justice.
ask you about that, because we have our own chat where all our friends are in, and we're talking about the beefs and stuff. And Hector, your cousin, goes, well, Kendrick is automatically disqualified in my eyes because he lied. Like, Drake claims he lied. It's full of lies. And a diss track, he said essentially that Drake defending himself in this track made sense. And I disagree with that. I understand that Drake, these are serious allegations, so Drake would obviously be like, yeah, of course I'm not a pedophile. But I also feel like mostly everyone doesn't believe he's a pedophile. Like, this is just the rap game. This is a beef. This is a diss tracks. And you're going to say outlandish things to each other just to get the win. And I personally feel like you already came after his wife. You came after him being a woman abuser. Just close it out or don't say anything. The worst thing he did was drop that track going, yeah, that song's good, but I'm none of these things. And like, if that's the song, that's not a diss.
Well, let's walk it back a little bit, right? Because like my cousin had said, right, it was full of lies and stuff like that. But when there's smoke, there's fire, I believe. And there's been a lot of people that have looked at Drake suspiciously with some of his comments. I think we talked about how Millie Bobby Brown came out when she was 13, and when somebody asked her, "Oh, what's the biggest name that you have in your phone?" and she's like, "Drake," and people were like, "Wait, pause, Drake?" And she's like, "Yeah, we text about boys and dating and yada 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 yada." What the fuck is a grown ass man texting a 13-year-old girl about boys?
No, it's true.
Dating,
I think
whatever, right? There's been other underage girls that have come out and said, "Yeah, I've talked to Drake a couple of times." Again, if they're not your family, why are you talking to underage girls?
But I think that's the ammo there because it's nothing really damning, right? There's no like, oh, he raped me or he did this or he did that. I feel like we would have seen something, especially with this diss track. Somebody would have came out and said, you know what, this is all true. This happened to me. And then they would have given their story. But I think to the point you're making, he's already got, there's these seeds of like, hold up, wait a minute. Why are you talking to girls 18, 17, 19? So Kendrick was able to
18,
use
19 is fine. Kendrick's talking about 16, 15, 14.
Right. Whatever the age is, he was able to use that as the ammo.
Right.
In the same way, Drake probably heard rumors about Kendrick and his life at home and him and his wife, whatever they're going through, and he was able to use that in his music. My point is, I get it. You have to defend yourself that you're not a pedophile. I feel like at that point, it just comes with the territory of obviously you're not. If you're not in trouble, you're not in court, you're not arrested. Of course, a Kendrick Lamar song isn't gonna like fucking. It's not gonna bring you to that point. Just finish finish the diss. Just go back. Because the worst thing he did was do that, and it's like the most disliked video on YouTube. I think it's like 1 billion dislikes or something like that. It's like a crazy number of dislikes. It might be like 500 million dislikes, which is insane. Like Kendrick made a song of the summer, not like us, dissing you. They played it on TNT. They played it on the NBA on TNT. Played that song.
Imagine that beat goes hard.
It does go hard.
It goes hard.
Do you imagine Drake like, oh man, I got to take my mind off this Kendrick Lamar stuff. Let me watch the Timberwolves versus the Nuggets. He turns on the TV and they're playing the fucking song on primetime TV.
Listen, I haven't heard a beat that raw and hard since fucking Tupac's Hit 'Em Up when he was beefing with Notorious B.I.G. And again,
a lot of people are saying that.
To go back to your point, right, where or Hector's point, oh, he lost because it's a lie. Are you telling me that when Tupac came out and said, I fucked your wife, like Tupac didn't fuck? I don't think Tupac fucked B.I.G's wife, Faith Evans. I mean, I guess I was too small to know about the beef pre-internet, so who knows if they did or not. But again, that could have been a lie. I mean, when you are beefing or you're doing diss tracks in a sense, right? Like you could put in whatever the fuck you want to put in. It's, like if we were going to start a YouTube beef battle with other YouTubers, right? Like we would come in at, I don't know, pick your favorite fucking YouTube channel that you guys watch. And like we could embellish, shit, right?
Right. Let's start a beef with Brett Man. We're gonna call out Brett Man.
We're gonna start a beef with Good Real Hunting. We're gonna start a whole, hip hop beef.
Shout out to those guys. I agree. I think this is crazy though. It's been crazy to watch. It's been fun. Obviously they're saying some insane things about each other. Things that are just like, oh shit, like what, like who accuses somebody of being a woman abuser? Who accuses somebody of being a pedophile? It's insane.
Which not that stuff. We condemn women beating and women abusing. Right. No. We don't.
No.
But when you're a hip hop artist, it sort of comes with the territory.
No, I think yes. When you're on this and you're like somebody calls you out, you call them out, and now you're in a full on battle. You're gonna say some crazy things.
You
now Drake's being called BBL Drizzy. Which, do you think he's got a BBL? Do you think that's true? You hear the rumors about he's got sculpted abs? Like he cuts pieces of his fat off his abs?
Is that why they're calling him about Ozempic, the
Yep.
Ozempic rapper?
Yeah. Yep. I've never heard Ozempic talked about. I knew what Ozempic was, but it's been talked about so much this year. Like, it is insane. It just feels like everybody is talking about Ozempic.
Oh, bro, I'm like 2 weeks away from getting on Ozempic myself.
Yeah, you might start looking like Drake, dude.
I hope so. Is it going to give me a long black schlong?
He's had a crazy year because he also had that where he's just flopping it back and forth.
Flopping his fucking thing like back and forth. Like if anybody could suck their own dick, it would be Drake.
I think it would be Drake. I think he's got enough length there to at least get a little forward.
At least the tip in his mouth, right?
There's some crazy things on the internet. I'm sure somebody has done it. Not that I want to know, but if maybe some of you guys look it up, find out, and then
send Tony the link.
It's true. Don't send me the link. Just say, you know what?
Listen, if you find the link of somebody sucking their own dick, send Tony the link on Instagram or Twitter or X.
You know what? Fuck it. Go ahead. Send me the link. You know what? Let's turn back the clocks. I used to look up crazy shit all the time on the internet. What's the
craziest shit that you looked up on the internet?
I'm trying to think. When I was 12, because I'm thinking I watched the internet kind of just blossom before my eyes in middle school and high school, but especially middle school because YouTube had just come out. I remember watching YouTube for the first time and videos all over, like crazy stuff all over the internet. So I'm trying to think. It would probably have to be there was 2 Girls, 1 Cup, and then the Pain Olympics. The Pain Olympics was crazy, and then then it came out that none of that stuff was true. It was all fake. So I would have to say those 2. Those were the big ones. And then there was one video of this guy shoving a glass cup up his ass, and then he like cracked it and he was bleeding. Like people are doing crazy things. Like you think TikTok and all this shit, like they're doing dumb shit. People are doing dumb shit just for, like, they're doing it for the views and the money. Right. These people are doing this dumb shit just for fun. Just to know that, I'm going to put this video up and some random guy in Pakistan's going to watch it. Like, it was a crazy time. It was the wild, wild west. So, yeah, I would have to say those 2. Those 2 for sure.
For sure. That was crazy.
Let's talk about movies.
Let's get into it. Besides Apes, which we're going to get into, right? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. What have you watched this week?
I've watched a ton. I'm going to pull up Letterboxd because
pull it up.
Yeah, because there's a few movies I want to talk about. Actually, now that you brought it up, so since last time we talked, I saw The Fall Guy again.
Okay.
In Dolby, I actually preferred the second watch because the Dolby by my house is a way better Dolby. The screen is like an IMAX screen. So It's got to be the biggest Dolby screen I've seen. So it was incredible watching it in there. Had just as much fun as the first time. It looked incredible, sounded great. So I watched that for the second time. I watched, let's see, when did we recorded last Friday?
We did I want to say the 3rd.
Okay. I plugged in a lot of movies here. I watched Rolling Thunder, which is a great crime revenge film from the 70s. Really, really good. King Kong 2005, which I posted. Peter Jackson's King Kong. I forgot how much fun that movie is. How big it's just huge.
It's big and it's huge. And I think the only drawback to a lot of people was the runtime.
It's lengthy. It's a
but it's Peter
movie.
Jackson. Peter Jackson is lengthy.
You have to expect that. And it's funny. I think I told you this too. I saw him at Universal and he was riding the Kong ride. He likes to ride the Kong ride. And he takes his family and he goes on it and
that's also a lengthy ride.
That he loves that ride. It is a bus, but he loves riding. He loves going on his own. That's crazy to think about. He made this crazy big movie 20 years ago and he's still going Universal just to go on his own ride. Right. That is just the ultimate flex. Like when I saw him, I had to do a double take. I was like, what the fuck is he doing?
He's flexing. He's flexing on his own ride.
And then I actually posted this because this is a movie that have you seen this movie? I think I wrote about it in the chat. Disney made this. I had no interest in seeing it in 2013. This is when a lot of Johnny Depp controversy was coming out, and people were hating him, and they didn't want to watch movies with him anymore. And he's the Lone Ranger. Disney.
Yeah, didn't that kill Johnny Depp's and Arnie's career?
I feel like it did. They dropped $300 million on this movie. This movie was one of the most expensive films ever made. I never watched it because of the bad reviews. I actually really fucking enjoyed it. I watched it 2 nights ago. I think it's a ton of fun. It's like a swashbuckling Western. The last act, there's this crazy action scene on a train that goes on forever, but it is violent. It's pretty dark and funny, and visually, it looks just as good as the Pirates movies because it's the same director as those first 3, Gore Verbinski. I really enjoyed it, and I feel like I wasn't taken out with Johnny Depp being in it because he wasn't really the main character. He's just his sidekick. But I feel like maybe time has been kind to this movie. 10 years later, you have somebody like me who never watched it. I turn it on, and I'm not really thinking about the controversy. But it's weird now. You kind of have to because both those guys are canceled.
Yeah,
Army's a cannibal. But they're both good in the movie. I honestly think this movie is a lot of fun, and it's insane that Disney made it because visually it's really, really cool. It looks practical, but there's some great CGI in there. The battle scenes are a lot of fun. But it's definitely not worthy of the 30% it is on Rotten Tomatoes or the short 2 stars on Letterboxd. I really had fun with it. I was shocked.
No, I get it. I have yet to seen it. I think the bad reviews did it for me, and I was like, And I'm not that I'm a person that follows reviews by any metric. Like I've watched some pretty fucking horrendous movies, as a lot of our fans or people can attest to. Like, what the fuck? Like, what are you watching that type of shit? But
yeah,
I don't know. Something about the Lone Ranger and Tonto didn't like.
It didn't capture me either. Yeah,
it didn't capture me. So I was like, I'm watching now. Is it on Disney Plus?
It is not. It's like one of the only Disney movies not on Disney Plus. But I think they're just trying to bury it at this point. So I paid $4 not to rent it, to own it on Apple TV. They had it for $4. I said, "Fuck it, I might as well just own the movie." And I clicked it, turned it on, and it is long. It's shockingly long. It's like 145, 150 minutes or something.
God damn!
But I was entertained the whole way through. There's some stuff I would take out. It's not a perfect movie or anything, but I did think it was a lot more fun and visually pleasing than what I anticipated, and had a lot more going on than most blockbusters do. Especially in today, we talked about a lot of movies look kind of gross looking and there's no visual appeal. This movie has a lot of that. Even if you have 2 leads that are kind of shitty people in real life, but at least in the movie, they're good. And that's really all I watched. I watched the Fletch movies. I rewatched those. Mr. Nice Guy with Jackie Chan. That's a fun one. Plays a TV chef who's bumbling, gets thrown into trouble with these Australian gangsters and has to fight for his life. So that was cool. And then finally, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, which you had a chance to see before me.
I did.
Do you want to run down movies you've seen? Should we talk about Planet of the Apes? What do you want to do?
Yeah, let me just run down a couple of movies because I've been on a David Ayer type of kick, and I want to say I'm a fan of David Ayer. I feel like a lot of his movies are very much like the same type of beats.
It's that gritty tone.
But
macho guy, yeah.
So this morning I actually watched Street Kings, directed by David Ayer and Keanu Reeves, and again LA Cop, right? Sort of was the same vein of End of Watch in a sense. It's a cop, he has to go against his own police force. Really cool movie. I actually watched Fury. I thought I had watched Fury a long time ago, but I put it in, and then I never did watch Fury. And goddamn, was Fury a good fucking ride?
It's great. That's a
totally
really good movie.
Different David Ayer type of movie, and Brad Pitt just fucking kills it. The entire cast is amazing in Fury. I don't know. I missed it. I
agree. Did you watch? What's that other one he did? Sabotage. Did you watch that one?
I've not watched Sabotage. I saw your review of The Tax Collector, and I've seen the Tax Collector, and your Tax Collector was like. This is nothing how I thought the fucking trailer was going to go or some shit like that.
I'm trying to think. I think I watched that on VOD. Well, I watched it the one time. I was not a fan.
Yeah. with
Did you watch
Creeper.
it? Did you?
Oh, dude, I watched it like fucking 3-4 years ago when it came out. I think it came out during COVID.
It did come out during COVID. Yeah, that's what I'm remembering now. Yeah, I think I enjoyed elements with Shia, and then as soon as he leaves the movie, for me, I remember it just kind of fell apart.
It did, for sure. Shia was like you know what's funny about Shia was the whole thing, like he got an actual fucking creeper tattoo supposedly, and you know he was like, you know, quote unquote Mexicanized for the movie or some shit. Anyways, no, I have not watched. I did not watch Sabotage yet, but I think I'm gonna make my way through all the David Ayer films because obviously I've seen Bright, you know, Suicide Squad.
Dude, let's get David Ayer on the show.
Let's do it. Let's reach out to David Ayer.
You know, he's very active on Twitter. I feel like we could get some time with him. Yeah, and you know, he's super talented. I mean, think about this is a guy that I think he started off. He's a vet. He was in the military, and he became a screenwriter. He's a great screenwriter. I've read when I was getting into screenwriting, I've read a ton of his scripts. He's actually a fantastic writer who never overwrites. He's like he knows exactly his characters, and he's great when you put him in LA. You put him in LA, he knows LA like the back of his hand.
Oh, I do. I absolutely believe it. Like at the beginning of the show, like I said, I love West Coast culture, West Coast, you know, all that stuff.
He's the guy.
And he's the guy. Like anytime I watch anything made by him, like Street Kings or End of Watch, like even Tax Collector, like he knows LA neighborhoods in and out. He knows the gangs, the cartels, all that stuff that you're looking for one of these gritty urban movies.
Right. No, I mean, I think Training Day was one of the biggest sales in screenwriting. Like that set the standard for so many people getting in the industry because it was so well written. And even, I mean, the movie's awesome. You watch Training Day; it's so quotable, it holds up. The chemistry between those guys is amazing. But his script, really, that was the fucking holy grail for a lot of people.
You could tell that was a David Ayer film. Like, even if you didn't know, and you watch David Ayer later, and you go back and revisit Training Day, it's a David Ayer film.
Yeah, it's he's great with the writing in that, and even Anton Fuqua directed it. It's like you could feel, even though he's the director, you could feel David Ayer's like hands all over that film.
Exactly.
So, that's fun. I should go back and rewatch some of his movies because I feel like he's definitely had a better output than his reputation will let you on.
For sure. And then the Fast and the Furious again. That's a movie I keep on going back to. I'm sorry. I make no fucking like apologies for my love for the Fast and Furious.
Which franchise. One did you watch? The first one?
The first one.
Yeah. I should rewatch the first one again.
I rewatch the first one about once a year, in a sense. Since I've started using Letterboxd consistently, it's been on there like what it says, oh, you just watched this last year. And you just watched this 2 years ago. It's, it is what it is. And I watched a couple of, romantic, dramas or romantic comedies. Nothing too special on those.
Those are just comfort movies, man.
Just comfort movies. But yeah, let's get into the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
Because give us the rundown on that.
Yeah, so Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes takes place many generations after the Caesar years. So Caesar's reign and everything he's done for this community, he was the first elder, right? And he taught them everything, being empathetic to humans and living side by side. And we saw Caesar's journey. We saw dawn and war and that thrilling and emotional conclusion. This movie takes the teachings of Caesar and it shows you what can happen when you have essentially two sides, people that can take his words and destroy the meaning, and the actual descendants that want to live up to his legacy. So this movie's grappling with legacy. It's a coming-of-age tale. Noah is our main character, and it's his journey and his quest for to avenge his clan, one, but also learning the ways of Caesar. Caesar's kind of essentially become this Jesus-like figure to the apes. And what I loved about this movie is the mythology they set forth, because they have a tall order. In the first movie, you have to be very consistent with the tone that Matt Reeves and all the creatives set forth on those last three movies. That's hard because those last three were so thrilling and people loved them. Wes Ball comes in. He's not a guy that's made a lot of movies people love, and when he was announced as the director, there was a lot of audible groans and people were wondering, why is he messing with it and why are they doing this? I'm happy he came on because he brings a different visual flair. This is a more intimate and grounded film. This isn't, at least not yet because of the first movie. It's not epic in scope like Dawn or War, because those are big war films. This is essentially a coming of age teenage tale. And I think Noah was a great character, and the effects here are as good as ever. Like, I was kind of enthralled by the effects, just like, wow, like just really taking it all in. It is deliberately slower because it's introducing you to so much. Right. It's introducing you to the culture and what the apes are doing in this moment, where the humans are. And you'll be shocked, especially if you haven't seen the trailers, what happens. So you're thrown in, and it takes its time to make you fall in love with every aspect of it until its thrilling conclusion. You meet Proximus Caesar, played great by Kevin Durand, who's been in everything I feel like lately, from Abigail to here. He is awesome in this. So I had fun with it. It lived up to my expectations. And I thought it was solid, but what I was excited for, I feel like they laid the groundwork to make the sequels even better. So I think Wes Ball knocked it out of the park. He was not a guy I was expecting to make a great Apes film. I enjoyed it, and I'm really happy back-to-back weeks we've had really solid summer blockbusters.
We have no, and you said Kevin Durand, right? Not Durant, not the Phoenix Suns.
Not Phoenix Suns. Kevin Durant, no.
Okay.
Kevin Durand.
Kevin Durand.
He was the big guy in Abigail.
I completely agree with you. I think this movie caught me a little bit by surprise. Anytime they, Planet of the Apes is, we're coming out with a new Planet of the Apes, you get excited. You get a little bit hard for it. And I think it killed it. Like you said, it started slow, right? And not even that slow, right? Because you got the amazing, opening sequence of them, and you see the city landscape. You see how everything's been 300 years later. After the rule of Caesar, and then, like you said, it set up the lore, the mythology, the different, factions between, ape clans, because there's a lot different, and sort of like takes it upon like how we are, right? We are all different clans that, have learned to cohabitate, and, we all have different religions, and everybody has interpreted religion in a different way. And this is essentially the religion of Caesar, the theology of Caesar, and how apes have interpreted in different ways, So we don't want to give too many spoilers about this. We will say one spoiler. If you're looking for apes' cheeks to be clapped, this is not your movie. I'm hoping that does happen in sequels, and I think we're gonna get there. But yes, no ape cheeks were clapped in the making of this movie.
I think Gabe wants to see, because Avatar, we got a sex scene with the tails. They took it out on the re-release, but at least the avatars, the Na'vi, you see them have sex. So why can't we see the apes have sex? Right. They don't even take shits in this movie. Where do the apes take shits?
On the trees. Do
you think so? Fall. They're just like fucking free falling. Like there's never a time they step in shit.
Free falling turds.
I was thinking about that. They don't really. I mean, these are primates, right? Where do they take shits at? Do they have like outhouses? They're smart enough for that.
They are evolutionized, primates.
Yeah.
So.
Who knows? Maybe they don't take shits anymore. Maybe they don't need to. Maybe they're so far advanced.
Maybe. I think that. If you believe in evolution or creation, it doesn't fucking matter. But I feel like in 300 years, maybe a couple more years, these apes will have evolved to like, I don't know, some sort of hybrid of human ape hybrid, I would assume.
Yeah. Would you mate? Let's say you survive 300 years. Would you mate with one? If it's like this humanoid ape?
So listen,
like the Mark Wahlberg ones?
Listen, I've thought about this. I legit have thought about this. I have put my time and energy into thinking about this. If the apes that I had to clap were the apes from the Matt Reeves, apes, or just this current apes.
What about the Tim Burton ones?
No.
I feel like that's okay.
No. The Tim Burton apes, though, you ain't gonna tell me she didn't look a little cute, though.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're thinking, yeah.
Right, exactly. You're not gonna tell me fucking what's her face?
He was considering it himself.
Ari. You ain't gonna tell me Ari from Planet of the Apes with Mark Wahlberg wasn't looking a little fly?
Mark was considering it.
Mark kissed her before he got in the spaceship. I know he I know he wanted to get with what was her name? Dina, whatever the blonde chick was. But I mean, he kissed a monkey. He kissed
That's
Ari.
True. That's true. He was considering it, dude.
You know, those type of apes, I would definitely their asses could get clapped.
I don't know. I guess we'll see. We'll see if the apes take over. I mean, I'm gonna have to do anything to survive, right? So, well, we'll see. But no, I think this movie was really cool, and I'm just excited. I hope they get to do the trilogy. I know they want to do 2 more.
Oh, I think they will. I think the only problem is this: is like in our group chat when they, you know, my cousin, your best friend Adrian Sky Selenite texted us and said, "Oh, Fall Guys is not making their money, and is it a bomb?" That's the problem, I think, with the box office nowadays, is that anything that doesn't make $1 billion is considered a bomb, and it's like, no.
Well, we talked about COVID, right? We mentioned this before. I'll be quick about it, but they made everything so readily available. They shortened the theatrical windows. Right. Remember, we would talk about a movie, and we talked about it all summer. Because it would be in theaters all summer. When Transformers 2007 came out, it ruled the summer. When even the Simpsons movie that year, they kept it in theaters. It made like $600 million. Everybody in America was talking about it because it wasn't in theaters for a week. You couldn't turn on the TV on Fox and watch the Simpsons movie. You had to go to the theater and watch it. And if you want to watch it again, you got to go back to the theater because you wouldn't see it on DVD for another 7 months. These movies... Dune is already available. I mentioned it before. Now, the success stories when you keep movies in theaters, even if they start low, keep them in theaters. Dude, Anyone But You grossed $8 million on its opening weekend. They kept that shit in theaters, and it was the most profitable movie of last year. Mission Impossible only made $50 million last year, opening weekend. Everybody was like, oh my God, it bombed. Like, what's Tom going to do? What are they going to do for the next one? He said, keep that shit in theaters where you're not putting it out on VOD yet. And it made its money back. It at least broke even. Barbie, Warner Brothers like, fuck it, we'll put it on HBO Max. And then I'm guessing everybody was like, wait a second, it's making so much money. Why are we doing that? Keep it in theaters. The problem with The Fall Guy is there's a few things working against it. The action comedy it's not making as much as it used to in 10 years ago. It's also Universal, and they're notorious for, all right, it's been in theaters for 2 weeks. Let's put it on Peacock, just like they just did with Abigail, which is you could already rent it on iTunes, which is insane. 2 weeks in theaters? Yeah. Like, at least let it make its money back. What are you losing? The theaters want these movies. Like, they want them at the show. So that's the only issue I see. I don't think Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is going to run into that. I think this is going to make solid money. I hope we get the next one, but I do agree with you. I'm kind of sick of these movies being so readily available when it's just cheaper to go to the movies anyway to see it. You have to pay $30 to watch it.
Yeah, you have to pay $30 to watch it. And if you're only watching it by yourself, you're paying $30 to watch it by yourself. As opposed to, let's say you do pay $30 at the theater for the tickets, but you could get potentially maybe 3 tickets. You have $5 Tuesdays at AMC or any movie theater has $5 Tuesdays. You could take the whole family out for $30. Right, and a lot of times they do $5 Tuesdays, and they'll do like $2 small popcorns. For under $50, you could fucking buy popcorn for everybody and tickets for everybody. And
yeah, or just leave those kids at home. Fuck the kids. You know, they ruin the movie experience anyway. So
exactly. No, but you know, it comes to the point where there's nothing like the AMC by my house. It has like maybe 20 screens, 24, I think. And maybe a good 10 of them are Hollywood movies. The rest of the 14 are either Hindi movies. I forgot the one other language it's also within Bollywood. They're all Bollywood movies.
Like I'm trying to think like the Tollywood movies. Like
Tollywood, Bollywood, Tollywood. Yeah, I mean, and it's like, okay, I get it. There's, different strokes for different folks, but there was a time frame when all 24 screens would be Hollywood movies.
Yeah, no, and I don't want to knock even those films too, because they those people they go to the movies and they see their films like RRR, or there was
they do.
Like, they have these crazy action stars. They love action movies there, and they support them. They fucking go watch them in theaters, and they cheer and they clap. So I'm not even shocked that, because I've seen that too, even by me or Victoria when we go visit her parents in Toronto. Obviously, there's a big Indian community in Toronto and Vancouver and stuff. Even their screens are taken over by like Bollywood movies and Tollywood movies, and I can understand why. They go and they support their movies. We stopped supporting our movies.
We did.
So
we did. I mean, you and I go every week, and I know people that try to be whatever, with the YouTube movie reviews and stuff, like they go every week. But the common people, our friends, family members, they don't go every week. It has to be something huge.
You tell them, no, you need to see this. You need to see this, and then word of mouth really helps movies now. I feel like in a big way. If the movie is fun and it's exciting, but also we talked about another thing too. These movies are so expensive because there's no such thing as cable or DVD. So actors would get a lot of money from cable and DVD. Now they don't. You need to pay them up front.
Right. Not only that, they also get a lot of royalties based on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray sales, right?
Exactly. The thing about King Kong made in 2005, like $90 million or something like that, just on DVD sales. That's crazy. We don't see that now. They don't even sell DVDs.
Right.
Walmart, Best Buy, whatever. They don't carry.
I mean, just think about, what was it? Forrest Gump made a killing in VHS sales. Tom Hanks got a lot of that on the back end.
Jurassic Park. Like, these are movies that they did crazy in theaters. People want to go see them, and then they wanted to own them. And it's funny too, because I feel like we're even getting back to cable. Like Disney, did you hear about this? Disney and Warner Brothers are teaming up to where you pay and you get the bundle for HBO and Disney and Hulu. We're just like, wait a minute, if we're starting to bundle things, why don't we just go back to cable? Why aren't we just doing that?
It's because it's become such a fucking hassle. Don't get me started, because I still pay for cable. The only reason I pay for cable is for sports. That's really
the only way to truly watch sports. You really need cable for that.
You really need cable, especially as a Cubs fan. I have to have Marquee Network because the Cubs now have their own fucking network. Like, everything has to be, like we talked about it last week. Everything needs to be a fucking brand, and I have no fucking idea why everything has to be a brand. Right? The Cubs, for fucking half a century, were on WGN, and you could watch it for free on WGN all across the fucking world.
That's true.
All across the world, you could watch the Cubs on WGN. Then they started doing the the market, like the fucking whatever. And then they were just playing on local regional network. And now they have their own fucking network. Now the only way I could watch the Cubs play is on fucking Marquee, which is owned by the Cubs, which is nowhere to stream. So I have to have fucking cable.
Oh, so streaming sports sucks. It fucking sucks. It's such a hassle.
There's a fucking delay. There is a delay in streaming sports. There's
a huge delay. It's not even like a regular TV delay. It's fucking laggy. It's garbage. That's why so many people just fucking pirate these sports. And they're like, fuck it. Like, at this point, I'm not going to pay for it. I'll just go to, like, I don't know, whatever site it is that pirates sports, live sports games, and they just watch it on there.
Right, because we talk about how 4K is so compressed when you're streaming like a 4K movie, right? And that's so much compression that comes over the internet. On sports, it's even fucking worse. So there's no reason why I would have a 4K TV and all these amazing surround sound shit, right? And then for me to watch a shitty ass fucking football game or a shitty ass fucking basketball game because the compression rate over fucking streams.
Well, they think we're gonna like it because we want everything quickly, and they think they're not gonna complain. They're getting it instantaneously. But it's worse. It's worse quality.
Right. So when I watch a Bears game and I use my cable, it looks so much better and so much differently than when I stream the fucking game.
No, it's true. This is a fact. Watching sports on cable is still king, and I think we're getting back to cable. At this point, we might as well just go back to cable.
Dude, there's so much like streaming that I have to fucking pay for myself, right? Because I got the Disney Plus, I got the Peacock, I got the Hulu, I got the Paramount Plus with Showtime. And then there's fucking Hulu, and there's Netflix. Like, there's so many things.
Netflix is such a non-factor. Like, I don't even use it. I'm paying $20 a month for some shit I don't even use.
So I'll be honest. I don't use Netflix, or I don't pay for Netflix because my cell phone company pays for Netflix.
Oh, how nice!
Yeah, that's very nice.
Very nice.
And also Apple TV. I don't pay for Apple TV because my cell phone company pays for Apple TV.
Oh, I thought okay. All right. That's great. So you're saving some money there. I'm just an idiot. I'm paying for all these things individually. I'm probably spending so much money on.
Could I interest you in my cell phone company? I don't want to say I don't want to say the name of it because they could
Mint
be watching.
Mobile. It's Mint Mobile. What else do you want to talk about? What do we kind of got off the rails a little bit? We
started talking about monkeys getting their ass cheeks clapped, and then we really didn't delve right into the lore that was monkeys, the apes.
Yeah, either way, a really fun movie. I really like what they're setting up for the future. I enjoyed it. I think it fits in perfectly with the last three. Visually, it was a feast for the eyes. So a big.
It was like a prequel to Gordy's Home.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it does. It truly feels like that. All right. So I mean, if you guys have seen Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, let us know what you think. Comment below. Try not to spoil it for others, but let us know what your favorite moments were.
Right. And if you know David Ayer, let us know so we could get in contact with him.
Yeah, let's get him on the show. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we compact this episode so much. Like we got it down to 51 minutes.
We did. We're getting into a good groove.
Yeah, it wasn't. I thought this would at least be 70, 80, but 51 minutes is a good spot to end off. I feel like
it is.
I feel like this is a natural space. So, if you guys haven't already, please share, like. I feel like
subscribe.
the algorithm really works on whether you like a video. So if you listen, just hit the like button. It takes half a second if you can, or hit the dislike button if you hate it. At least it'll get some kind of traction. So make sure to like, subscribe, share. Gabe, you got anything to say before we start closing out here?
No, just go ahead and listen to the beef. Go watch Meet the Grams.
Yeah, go listen to Meet the Grams. Watch all the songs so you can be caught up on the timeline. So if a new song drops next week, we could talk about that.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. This has been the Flopbuster Movie Show. I will see you next week. What's happening next week? Is it
Furiosa?
No, it's the week after.
Oh.
Next week is The Strangers and If. Are you seeing either one of those?
Maybe The Strangers.
I'm curious. I'm definitely curious about The Strangers.
I give myself a stranger almost every day.
All right. Well, have a good night, guys. We will, or a good day by the time you see this. We will see you next week when we talk about something. It might be The Strangers. It might be about Gabe giving himself a stranger. So we'll see you then. Thank you.